Hey everybody, and welcome to Steelbook Obsessed. My name is Jake, and today I have a 4K review for you! I got a double dose of the same movie. Warner Brothers was nice enough to send me both copies early on Dirty Harry. Both 4Ks in both a standard and a Steelbook. I love it when I'm able to get both iterations of a movie's release. That way, when I am reviewing it, I can have both of these come into account when it comes to my scoring system. On all physical media reviews, I score them on 3 criterias. We have the TNA factor, the transfer in audio. We have the packaging, which I will have 2 different versions to kind of go into my score. And we also have the special features. If you think all 3 of those things are what you are looking for in physical media reviews, please give the video the like, the channel the subscription, all that fun jazz. But let's waste no more time and start talking about the movie, folks. Dirty Harry. This was a first time watch for me. I am very much a Clint Eastwood novice. Whenever I see Clint Eastwood, I see the same iteration of Clint, just squinting the eyes and talking all serious. Like that's what I think of when I hear and think of Clint Eastwood in my mind. Dirty Harry, he's doing the same shtick, but I understand why people really like Clint. He no nonsense, Mr. Clint Eastwood. He does not put up with your crap. And the older I get, the more I'm like, yeah, you go, Clint. I'm gonna have my feelings funneled through you, and you're going to vent a lot of my frustrations that I have and capping some of these bad guys. As a cop in this movie, he very much does not go by 100% of the law. He plays by his own rules, okay? And I really enjoyed the movie. I gave it a 4 out of 5. Here is my letterboxd review for the movie. I did not know going into this, but a special feature did let me know that this was the first movie that really captured a serial killer on film, which I find very fascinating because we are flooded with that type of content nowadays. But the Gemini killer in this movie is the first of its kind. The killer was modeled after the Zodiac killer, and you can kind of see a little bit of resemblances, not as crazy and encoded as the Zodiac killer was, but still enough of a killer that had like a list of things to do to make sure he did not get caught. Even though he was a little bit sloppy in this movie, I think once the movie truly focuses on the cat and mouse game between Clint and the killer, it gets really juicy, gets really good. Could not get enough of that. Takes a little bit of time, kind of slow playing a couple things, goes into a couple of different scenarios as a Dirty Harry, as a cop, to where he's just off the hinges. He'll do what he wants. There's a scene with him trying to talk somebody off of a ledge, and the dude is coming at him, and he kind of punches him just so he doesn't fall all the way down. And you hear people in the crowd say, "Oh my God, the cop punched him." Couldn't get away with that now in 2025, but the 70s, it was for his own good. Boom, pop him, sock in the mouth a little bit. That stuff I thought was okay, but this movie is truly at its strongest in the last 30 to 45 minutes. But let's get into the transfer and audio side of things now. The TNA effect, because this movie, oh my God, does it look crispy and stunning and gorgeous and what you want out of an old release, people. This movie I've never seen the movie before, so I don't know if it's ever looked better, but I would find it hard to believe that this movie has ever looked better than what it does right now. The pictures look so crispy. When Clint Eastwood is biting that hot dog in the beginning, you can see a little bit of the sweat in the hot dog. His eyes, you can see all the wrinkles in his eyes when he's looking at the robbery that's going on right next to him. Looks so lovely. The only nick that I have at this release is that there has to be something with older movies getting the 4K treatment and the black level. Some of them do a very good job at kind of making those black levels truly shine. In Dirty Harry, there are a couple of very crucial scenes in the darkness, in shadow, and I don't think the black levels played as well as what I would have wanted them to. That being said, Everything else looks phenomenal. This has HDR10. This has Dolby Atmos. This has 7.1 surround sound. It's got the goods, folks, and I had such a good time with it. This also uses Technicolor, and it also uses Panavision. I don't know what the combination is between the two and the 4K format, and I've only seen a handful of the combination, but those have been some of my like go-to movies when it comes to eye pops. Like my go-to older movie to watch on 4K is Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I think that sucker absolutely pops. Those type of pops that are in that transfer are also in this transfer of Dirty Harry, and I loved it so much. The only negative that I had, again, were like the pitch black darkness scenes. Like there's a critical scene in the tunnel where Clint Eastwood is doing a lot of the cat and mouse stuff, running from one place to another in order to kind of make sure that something doesn't happen to some person. I'm trying to keep it as spoiler free as possible. Something happens in the tunnel and it kind of stinks that you gotta squint because it's dark out anyway. It was just really hard to make out what was going on. Everything else looked phenomenal. The close-ups on everybody looked so pristine. I'm giving the transfer and audio of Dirty Harry a 9 out of 10.
Nice.
The dark levels almost made me, if it wasn't for the dark levels, would have been a 10 out of 10. This sucker shines like crazy. 9 out of 10 is where I'm falling on the TNA effect. But now let's go from the transfer and audio to the packaging, talk a little bit about both different kinds. I'm going to talk about this one first because we shouldn't skip over it, because if you do get the Dirty Harry with the slipcover, I like the metallic sheens that are in the back. It does kind of look like there are police sirens going off if you get it in the light enough. And then of course you have your standard fare on the back. But what I really wanted to give Warner Brothers kudos for, which seems silly, it sounds silly, but it gave me like, oh, okay, brownie points for you, Warner Brothers. When I opened this case up, they don't use the Econo or the recycled material case. It's a real 4K case, and it's hefty. You open it, and it opens different than a case that is kind of on the flimsier side that has that recycled logo right there. As silly as that sounds, that goes a long way for me personally, just to make sure, even though it's a standard release, you're still getting a stamp of quality from Warner Brothers, a stamp of quality from the release itself. So that in itself would be a fine packaging suggestion. If you want to spend a little bit extra dough, you can go the Steelbook route. And there were 3 Clint Eastwood movies releasing on Tuesday, April 29th. Dirty Harry, The Outlaw Josie Wales, and Pale Rider. Those are the 3. All 3 of them have releases like this, and they also have the Steelbook treatment like this. And I would say out of all 3 of the Steelbooks, the Dirty Harry one looks the best. Spoilers right now, this is one of my favorite Steelbook releases of the year so far. Classic poster artwork. This is what the main menu looks like when you pop that up. So if you do get this, you still get that artwork on the actual main menu of the disc, which is nice. But as you can see, there are some nice glossy pops, and then there's extra pops on the verbiage here, which is always nice. You have a nice spine that stands out, but the back, oh my God. Whenever I hang this Steelbook up on my Steelbook wall with the magnets, this is what I'm going to show off, because dear Lord, does this sucker look absolutely spellbinding. I wish that stuff wasn't there, but it's small enough to where it still doesn't 1000% stick out like a sore thumb. And I took the disc out because the disc is playing right now. I always like to have movies playing while I'm talking about them, just so random things could pop into my brain to talk to you on here. But here is the inside itself. And again, a very pivotal point. This is the Gemini killer right here. Creepy dude really helped this movie get elevated from your average cop fare to something truly special and timeless. This actor right here is to thank. I don't have his name in front of me, but I loved him so much. And this also reminds me of another thing that I really liked about the movie, the cinematography. There are a few different scenes in this movie to where I was I was very impressed with how they got the scope, the size of everything on screen. Like when the Gemini killer is shooting somebody in this specific scene, he's at the very top of a building and there are helicopter shots all around him. That looks nice. The one shot, and then there's a lot of like huge like pan outs just to show the broad scope of things. The one that really shocked me though, there is a certain scene that happens on a football field. And when that scene is done, it's like the camera is on a football and it just zooms out. Like the camera goes from them semi in the middle of the football field, zooms out to where you can see the whole field, keeps on zooming out to where you can barely see the field. It's an amazing shot. I don't know how they pulled that off in the 70s. I was absolutely flabbergasted. I'm like, this is still going backwards. What's going on? What's going on here? Of course you could do it now with a drone, but in the 70s, I'm just like, bravo, Dirty Harry. I'm impressed and I love it. But going back to this Steelbook, I'm also impressed and I'm also loving it. Steelbook and standard release combined, I don't think you can go bad either way. This is like I want to say right now, this is about $25 and this is about $35. To me, I like the Steelbook more than the standard. Not bad either way though. And honestly, both of these combined, I'm giving the total score a 10 out of 10. Wow. I love the packaging both ways for this release. They could have just phoned it in very easily, but they decided to give a little bit of sheen on the slip and all of the artwork on this. Oh my God, I'm in love. I am in love. I'm also in love with this premium edition set that is coming over on the UK. If you are a fan of Dirty Harry, it's a great looking set. I found out about it because I was scrolling on the movieroom.com and saw this sucker on here. I love to support small business. This is a team only run by a husband and wife. I'm partnering with them. If you use my discount code SteelBook10, you can save 10% on anything on their website. But let's get back to some of the gloriousness on this Dirty Harry release. But that brings us to the special feature portion, people. And again, I am shell-shocked. I'm flabbergasted at the amount of content that they put on this disc. Another brownie point. There's no Blu-ray, which I know some people find a little bit negative. Me personally, I'm always going to watch the 4K. But it's also shocking that they fit so many extras on the 4K and that the 4K looks as nice as it does. This to me cements the fact that there's no reason why companies should not, every release should not have an 100 gigabyte disc because the picture looks great. You have all of your extra materials on the disc so you don't have to disc swap. This sucker is loaded. Over 4 hours of special features, 5 featurettes, 2 feature-length documentaries. They might be archival documentaries, but I still give Warner Brothers brownie points for going back into their archive and putting this stuff on disc once again, because it was new to me. I'd never seen any of them, and both documentaries were great. One of them talked a little bit more about Dirty Harry. The other one talked about Clint Eastwood's career up until when this got filmed in like the early 90s. I want to say it was like a 91, 92 documentary. Still very fascinating. Really liked both of them. But Warner Brothers did go out and put new special features, new bonus features on this release. One of which, and they're not very long. I will say that. One is like 8 minutes. One is like 9 minutes. The first one about the generations, called Generations in Dirty Harry. That one had 3 different like age groups of people talking about the impact that Dirty Harry had on them. And the youngest group, I guess my demographic, the people from There Are Too Many Movies were on that bonus feature. That kind of, again, another like eyebrow raise, like, oh, Warner Brothers is going out to content creators. They're going out to podcasters and YouTubers. Absolutely love that. And they had a lot of great insight to give on the movie. So bravo to There Are Too Many Movies. The trio of you did a great job, and I love to see you stepping up to the plate and getting an actual release on a major studio 4K. Very, very nice. There's also Lensing Justice, the cinematography of Dirty Harry, which goes into a little bit more of like the broad shots I talked about a little bit earlier. There is American Masters, career retrospective, Clint Eastwood, Out of the Shadows, Dirty Harry's Way, Dirty Harry the original, and the 2 documentaries, Clint Eastwood, The Man from Malpaso, and Clint Eastwood, A Cinematic Legacy Fighting for Justice. I watched every single ounce of the bonus features, and they were all wonderful. I spent 3 times more time watching this stuff than I did watching the actual movie, but the movie is so good in itself. If you're a fan of this movie, you owe it to yourself to add this to your collection. Special features wise, they gave you new. They jam-packed it with old. They put stuff that wasn't on earlier Dirty Harry releases onto a Dirty Harry release. You're ticking off all the boxes. Special features, I'm giving this release a 10 out of 10 too. I don't have anything to complain about. I'm only giving you thumbs up, and you're giving me brownie points on top of the thumbs up. I can't nitpick. And this is a little bit unprecedented, is it not? With all of the scores that I had, 29 out of 30 is the total score for Dirty Harry. And that means that it is very close. If it's not the top of my list, it's definitely in the top 5 physical media releases of the year so far. I'm trying to do some math in my head, but I have not calculated what that list looks like. I have a list on Letterboxd. It should be updated. I will put it right there, right now, so you can see where it's at. Top 5 for sure. I know I have Inglourious Bastards on there. I know I have Tarsum's The Fall on there. I know, or not The Fall, The Cell on there. I have Wicked, and I have Umbrella Entertainment's You Were Never Really Here. It's definitely up in that conversation. And if you are a fan of this movie, you owe it to yourself to pick either release up. Hopefully you get the slipcover. I think the slipcover does add a little bit something to this release. But let me know your thoughts on the movie in the comments. Thank you for watching. And until next time, I'm done gushing. And I'll see you. Hey everybody, if you made it this far, congratulations. You found the after credits saying, good for you. You did it. You did it. I loved this release. I loved Dirty Harry, but I haven't seen a lot of Clint Eastwood movies. And when I say I haven't seen a lot, I've seen this. I've seen Gran Torino. I've seen Trouble with the Curve. And that might be it. Oh, and The Mule. I've seen The Mule, but that might be it. So my question to you is, what Clint Eastwood movies should I watch? I have the 4K from Arrow Video coming for The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly that I will plan on watching. I also got the 4Ks for The Outlaw Josie Wales and Pale Rider. Probably going to watch Outlaw Josie Wales first. Like I've said on the channel, I've never been the biggest Western fan. So for me, I feel like I have to jump over another hurdle out of all the movies I have in my collection that I want to pick up a Western. I had a really good time with the last Western I watched, which was not Unforgiven. It was a Tombstone. Tombstone I had a very fun time with. So I need to give them a shot. I know I do. It's something in my brain that does not make me want to watch Westerns, and I don't know why. I need to get over that. I'm also trying to watch 50 foreign films this year. I'm at like number 12, and I haven't watched one in a few weeks because I'm doing reviews like this. But I love doing reviews like this. I love being able to tell people when a great release comes out that you're not wasting your money, that you are supporting a great release. I honestly think that Dirty Harry is up there for one of the best physical media releases of the year so far. You're not going to be disappointed with this one. And I think that's everything that I have for right now. Thanks for watching. You are one of the hardcore fans of Steelbook Obsessed if you got all the way to the end. And for that, we're going to zoom in to Mr. Clint Eastwood. Let me know what movies I should watch. Bye!